Kings of Influence, the podcast where we talk about social media outrage and really anything else we want to talk about. I'm your host, one of your hosts, Ray William Johnson.
I'm one of your hosts, Epic Lloyd, and we are here every Wednesday at noon PST, which means Pacific Standard Time, which means LA time, which means for us it's like right about when we wake up.
That's right.
It's nice to see you guys here. It has been a great week. We have had a lot of cool things go down, me specifically, and I think you too, Ray. It's been a big week for you.
But, I mean, you know, average week.
Average week.
Average week.
Oh, man. My week has been crazy. I had my family in town, and if you have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old in the same house at the same time, you realize, God bless all you parents out there. For the love of God, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how they do it. It's nuts. It's the amount of energy it took just to wake up and feed a kid a hot dog is unbelievable, man. And then you got 2 of them running around. It's like you're trying to herd cats. It's nuts.
Another hot dog?
I know.
You want another hot dog? And kids will do the same thing over and over like it's new.
Yeah.
You ever had a kid, like my mom used to babysit, and these kids would watch like the same VHS tape. I swear this little kid that she used to babysit, his was like 3 or 4 years old. His name was Jay.
Yeah.
He watched The Land Before Time, like part 7.
Whoa, the dinosaur ones?
Yeah. That one that stretched out for way too long.
Yeah.
That bastard watched that movie well over 100 times.
See, that's what we got to do.
He could quote the whole thing.
Yeah. We got to get him to watch Epic Rap Battles of History over and over and over again. Because we watch YouTube videos of these, like Papa Pig or whatever. I never heard of this shit. And it's just like, these kids love that stuff.
It's Peppa Pig, sir.
Is it Peppa or Pepe? Wouldn't that be Pepe Pig?
No, it's Peppa.
Peppa, all right.
It's Peppa Pig.
I don't know.
What the hell planet are you from?
How do I know Peppa Pig? Why would I know Peppa Pig?
Because it's the most famous pig in the world.
I don't know. There's
At the
Porky
moment.
Pig. Porky Pig is sort of old, no pants
Yeah.
pig. Man, it's so funny because you have your laptop higher than normal, so all I can see is your nose and eyes. So I feel like I'm talking to the neighbor.
Well, the audience doesn't know that.
What's that? Tim Allen show? What was that guy's name?
Home Improvement.
Yeah,
Home Improvement.
I think that guy might have died.
No,
not Tim Allen, but the
neighbor.
The neighbor
Yeah,
guy.
Wilson.
Yeah,
I think he did die.
Oh,
I think he did die.
Rest in peace, Wilson.
No kidding.
I wonder if his tombstone was just like this much.
You're gonna go there. You're gonna go there. Oh, damn it!
I'm sorry. Too soon. Too
Okay.
soon.
Okay. Speaking of saying the wrong thing at the wrong time, let's get right into the stories, guys.
right.
Listen to this, and I'm sure you've heard of this, but our buddy Alex Jones, he was banned. He was banned this week.
Yep.
Him and his company InfoWars, they were banned, or either he was banned or certain accounts were banned connected to him. He was banned from Facebook, banned from YouTube. Apple banned his podcast.
Yeah.
Spotify banned him as well. Like once 1 or 2 companies banned him, then they all jumped on board.
The chips fell.
Literally, Pinterest started they banned some of his content. I don't know what content he had on Pinterest, but that was part of it.
He just has like Nazi embroidered sleeping bags or whatever.
Get this, YouPorn
banned him. Why was he on YouPorn?
So there's a whole, I mean, this is a complete sidebar that we should talk about at some point, but there's this whole cottage industry of people who make racy videos. Racy meaning like conspiracy theory edgy, or like gun enthusiast videos where they like blow shit up.
Yeah.
And it's too racy to get monetized on other platforms. So there's this whole cottage industry of uploading that shit onto Pornhub, YouPorn, and those kind of places, and they get monetized. And they apparently do fairly well.
Holy shit.
So YouPorn.
What are we doing? Find Kings of Influence on YouPorn and XTube tomorrow.
YouPorn is like, look, I understand that we have an entire catalog of women dumping on guys' chests.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
But we will not put up with Alex Jones.
That, I mean, you have, well, first of all, fuck Alex Jones, because fuck him right in his face.
Let it be said.
And but that is hilarious to me. I never even realized there was a whole second like little culture like that down there on that. But I mean,
I didn't realize because I don't partake,
of course,
in such activities. I don't.
I mean, why would you?
Well, even if you did, why would you go to YouPorn and be like, gun assembly?
That gets me going.
Yeah, videos. Like, why would you?
Oy. Well, so he got banned from YouTube. I mean, YouPorn as well as all those other things.
Yes.
Man.
The only place that didn't ban him was Twitter. So, all right, let me get
Twitter always fucking it up.
Well,
man.
Twitter's a cesspool, which we come to that conclusion every week. So he gets banned, right? And there are various statements by various different companies putting out reasons why he was banned. It's mostly hate speech and what they classified as bullying, not what you would think he would get banned for, which is fake news. Because all of these platforms right now are trying to crack down on fake news.
Right.
There's this whole ethical thing that they're trying to grab a hold of. In fact, if you use YouTube, I want you to do something. I wish I could pull it up on the screen. If you use YouTube, go to the search bar and search for something that you feel like might be in the news. Search for Alex Jones if you want, right?
Okay.
So what's going to happen is it's going to organize the search in terms of videos, which is what it does, but the videos will all be CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, all of these news media outlets that you have heard of,
reputable,
that are big, that are reputable, that are approved. Whereas it used to be, if you go and search Alex Jones or really any topic that you feel might be in the news, it would be like 900 videos of guy ranting into his cell phone, and then you might find a CNN video buried in there.
Right.
Now all of that is pushed down, and the reputable news outlets are floating to the top because that is YouTube's way of fighting fake news. Now, why that's interesting is this is new, and I really want you to try that because it's fascinating to watch. But this is a new thing as of like 3 months ago.
Okay.
Before 3 months ago, you could search anything on YouTube, and you wouldn't get the major news outlets floating to the top.
Just random. Literally fake news. Whoever was first to market, whoever had the hottest hashtag, whoever could get their video spiked up real quick,
or even just guy ranting about a thing that would come up. Now your news, your normal media, your standard big mainstream media news outlets dominate it, which is just an interesting time to live in.
They have to do something. It's crazy that they haven't done it yet.
Yes,
people are getting hurt. There is a difference between free speech and the right to free speech and spreading false hatred to large amounts of people who are easily influenced. There is a responsibility there.
Yeah.
Whether you want to think there is or not, there is. And then even bigger than that is the house in which these people live. If you got a dick at your party, you either got to end the party or kick the dick out. You know what I mean? That's the deal. And thank God Facebook's finally started doing, because I watched all that Zuckerberg stuff where he was talking about there's a section of people that say that the Holocaust never happened.
Yeah. And
Zuckerberg was refusing to remove those people from Facebook under the guise of, it deeply offends me, and they're wrong, but people have the right to be wrong. Okay. Okay, but you can't actively tell people to do things on behalf of wrong information. That's dangerous. Actively pursuing these false. Was the pizza thing? The Pizzagate was Alex Jones. And some guy went there and shot the place up.
Yeah, but that's the thing, Lloyd. They didn't remove him because of fake news. They removed him because of what they classified as hate speech or bullying, especially in Facebook's case.
Well, in his case, I think his fake news was hate speech. It was conspiracy theory, but also fuck Hillary, she's terrible, all these things. And here's the facts that I'm using to back this up.
It was, but why didn't Facebook take that very easy position? Because we removed him because it's fake news, and we have been removing fake news.
I think because it's easy for you and I don't think it's as easy. There's a lot of people out there. I mean, look how popular Alex Jones is. You know what I mean? And, he's the extreme level, but there's a lot of people out there who would never advocate for, who will never fire a gun in their life.
Yeah.
But advocate strongly for the Second Amendment. Same thing with these there are people out there who would never support Alex Jones, but they support that whole free of speech type of thing. And so it's not as clean cut as you imagine. And it's also Facebook's not just the United States. And there's a lot of countries out there that are backwards, man. You know what I mean? There's countries out there that are not equal rights happy and not, women's rights happy. And that is also Facebook. And it's still a business at the end of the day. So it sucks that they didn't react to that right away. I don't agree with it, but I definitely understand why they didn't. And they're they got to, because who's the committee that judges that?
Well, that's a big moral question, is who is, behind this, making all these calls. And there's certainly a free speech argument to be made on behalf of Alex Jones. And if Alex Jones, if what he's doing is hate speech and all he's really doing is spreading conspiracy theories, then What about someone else? What about if you and I report on something and get it wrong? Not that we're claiming to be reporters or whatever.
Or what about like a Bill Maher or like a John Oliver or something who, you know, they have facts as well, but I think they just need to get like Gandalf and that old elf and like maybe the king of one of those man cities, and they all sit down like the Lord of the Rings, and those guys all look at the big news media outlets and they just decide together who's bullshit and who's not, and then they throw everybody who's bullshit into the volcano.
The Fellowship of the Fake News.
Yeah, Fellowship of the Fake News. I think that's what we need.
Well, let's pause for a second because I forgot to do this. I forgot to give a little bit of context on who Alex Jones is. I'm sure you guys already know, but Alex Jones, he has been on the radio in some form, be it podcast, radio, or video, for over 20 years. He's been doing his conspiracy theory sort of bit. He subscribes to nearly every major conspiracy theory. He gets criticized for a lot of things, for being nuts.
Yeah.
But he was part of the birther movement. He was part of the Bush did 9/11 movement.
Yeah.
He was spreading Pizzagate. He argued that the Sandy Hook victims and parents, that Sandy Hook never happened and the parents were crisis actors.
Yeah.
Here's a little bit of Alex Jones right now, not necessarily doing any of that, but just generally him being a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
The Bible says it's basically an intergalactic invasion into this space through people. I'm telling you, it's what all the ancients said. It's what they warned of. It's what we're dealing with.
Very entertaining.
Demons. They're frickin' interdimensional invaders, okay?
I wish you could just show us now Randy Macho Man Savage.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same. This guy, look at it, even looks like wrestling behind
humans, him. Okay? Hillary Clinton is a goddamn demon. Excuse me, taking a word. Stop taking it in vain. She is a
He's not
demon.
wrong, though, you know.
It's just fun to watch.
Excuse me.
But it's horrible, you know, like...
Look how worked up he is.
Trump speech. I don't even know if I can go to calls now. I'm too upset.
All I know is
interdimensional demons, whatever they are. Let's say that's an allegory.
Whatever they are.
All I know is they're the same thing. Psychopaths.
Sunday night.
They're not
down
human.
in the ring.
I don't like them.
Sunday night is going to be Miss Elizabeth for the Intercontinental Championship of the World. And Hulk Hogan is a goddamn demon.
And Alex the Bad Boy Jones is going to reclaim the title.
Yeah.
I see you real good.
That would be a great character in the WWE, the conspiracy theorist.
Oh, God.
Be
like, your pinning of the Junkyard Dog for the championship was false. It was fake. You implicated the judges, and that would be a great character.
It was an inside job.
Yeah, totally. He would get like everybody in this audience is a plant. They're all plants.
Right, they're all crisis actors.
Yeah, I'm talking about like ficuses, not they're actual plants. That would be fun. That would be my character on the circuit.
I would have a whole conspiracy theory wrestling match. I would have one guy whose name is Jet Fuel and the other guy whose name is Steel Beams.
Oh, jeez.
And so you'd try to see if Jet Fuel can actually pen Steel Beams.
Well, it's nice to see that crazy crosses the aisle. You know what I mean? Because like if he also says the 9/11 thing by Bush, at least he's not just into like one side or the other. Granted, he's probably going to be more on the side of the you know, the right side. But.
I mean, he's considered a conservative voice, but I look at him as a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
Like, I don't look at him as any kind of conservative.
Yeah. I bet he doesn't believe any of that shit.
So he had to go to court recently. I think it was a divorce case or something like that, and he testified because I think his wife was claiming that he was nuts, and like they had obviously all of this footage like that to show, and his counter defense was, "I'm a performance artist."
Yeah. I bet he doesn't believe any of it.
He said that on record.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean he necessarily thinks that. People say a lot of stuff in court, I suppose, you know, to get out of paying alimony or whatever. But on record, he has acknowledged that he is a performance artist.
Jeez Louise. I mean,
but that makes him even more scummy to me.
Yeah, just because he's doing it for the money, he knows he's going to get the attention. But what's his old stuff look like? What is he like before he hit his stride? You know what I mean? When he was like just, you know, like you know, when you see like early Robin Williams where you're like, oh, you can see who he's gonna be in these performances, but he's not there yet. I wonder what early Alex Jones looks like. He just like gets a little bit upset and then goes back to being like what was he, like a radio DJ or something to start?
Yeah, that
Feels
I
like
don't
that
know.
would be about right.
Maybe he was reasonable. Maybe he was reasonably like, I don't know, guys. Do you think jet fuel can melt steel beams?
Yeah,
is that?
Well, I mean, let's do the science on it.
Yeah,
I mean, steel is made out of hot stuff, so maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if the story that the government is telling us is one that could be completely trusted, but, you know, I'm on the fence.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all those people saw the plane fly into the building. Like, what could it have been? Maybe an eagle instead? Yeah, let's call it an eagle. I'm so even unfamiliar with that conspiracy theory that one's particularly annoying because
Which one?
The 9/11 was a job by
Inside
the
job?
government.
Yeah, super annoying. That was the first
And
one to
insulting.
really catch fire on the internet.
Yeah.
That was big. I mean, there were a lot of people behind it, and and a little bit insulting to the people the firefighters who lost their. I mean, for
Crazy.
a lot of reasons,
Awful.
But just for laughs, let's do another one.
Yeah.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Oh my
Do you understand that? Serious crap. I'm sick of being social engineered. It's not
Well, here's my question too. Like, how is the camera guy not just dying? You know what I mean? Like, who's his crew? He's got a whole crew of people that not everybody's that insane. You would never get anything done. Like, I feel like a friend of mine, there's like crazy, you see these like reality shows all the time, like Bar Rescue or like even some of those kitchen shows. And it's just a crazy guy that everybody goes, this guy's fucking crazy.
Right.
Let's all just get a camera and watch it burn, you know? That seems like what he's all about. That is very funny to me.
It's really funny. He's very watchable. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Like he's very entertaining, very watchable. But yeah, like what he's doing is irresponsible. And frankly, I'm glad he got banned.
Yeah.
I'm very glad he got banned. Let me read you what I think YouTube actually put out a statement about it. They said YouTube said all users agree to comply with our terms of service and community. Let me do it in a voice. All users agree to comply with our terms of service and community guidelines when they sign up to use YouTube. When users violate these policies repeatedly, like our policies against hate speech and harassment, we terminate their accounts. We have taken it down for glorifying violence and using dehumanizing language to describe people who are transgender, Muslims, and immigrants, which violates our hate speech policies.
Eat it.
And YouTube came down. Now,
Nice.
to put this in context, I'm not trying to take up for YouTube taking down anyone's content, but to put this into context, YouTube will actually YouTube and Facebook will be so quick to demonetize content.
Yeah.
I mean, they are way up on that shit. YouTube is incredibly protective of its advertisers, of its reputation.
Yeah.
So this isn't Alex Jones isn't the only guy to get hit by their regulations. I've had, by both Facebook and YouTube, I've had videos being demonetized.
Sure, me too.
Because they're too racy.
Yep.
And I'm talking about videos where I said the word ass too often.
Yeah.
Or remember when we did that sketch, Politically Correct Police Officer? I couldn't get that monetized.
Yeah.
Because the burglar had a gun. Even though it was like a comedy sketch, the burglar had a gun because we were trying to simulate a funny robbery.
Right.
They couldn't get monetized because there was misuse of a firearm.
And I feel like they've gone back and forth on that. I've had videos get unmonetized and then they get remonetized, or I'll appeal it and then they say no first and then it says yes later. So I think they're wiggling their way around trying to figure that out, because that is a slippery slope. Some of the ones that got demonetized, you're like, come on, man. Like, you know, obviously Adolf Hitler nobody wants to be in an advertising with that, but it's a comedy sketch. And you should be able to make that choice yourself if you want to.
I got one better for you.
Yeah.
I got one better for you. So my music video for Conspiracy Theory Guy, I uploaded it twice, 2 different versions because of the aspect ratio.
Oh, yeah.
Now, because it deals with conspiracy theories, even though it's making fun of it, it is a candidate to get demonetized because these platforms are very sensitive about conspiracy theories, and it has conspiracy theory right in the title. So I have 2 different versions of the exact same video. The only difference is the aspect ratio, the size of it.
Right.
One got demonetized.
One didn't.
One did not.
Yeah.
It is the exact same video. So if that's not an inconsistent policy, I don't know what is. But regardless of whether or not their policy is inconsistent, my point is they have a policy and they absolutely enforce it.
Yeah.
They absolutely enforce it. I'm not a stranger to these platforms.
Yeah.
I make like many, many, many videos every week. I make new videos. I re-upload videos. I'm very active on these platforms, and they like fuck me over on some of this stuff.
Well, I think that's good. You don't want it to be free range, you know, but I'm saying, I think the thing that they need to do, find Gandalf, get that elf in there. He's that old elf. I'm not talking about the Legolas guy.
Not Legolas?
No, the dad of Liv Tyler.
Okay.
That guy is clutch.
I forget
He's got
his
the
name.
big magic. He can reborn. He can like bring people back from the dead. You got to get him in there. The lead dwarf guy, he's there. And then just some
Gimli.
Is that Gimli?
Yeah, it's Gimli.
Not to be confused with Gimlet, a Gimlet of Gimli. And then just, any man, just a man. Maybe maybe the king, but the men really aren't that important in that world.
So this would be the fellowship of the fake news.
Fellowship of the fake news / fellowship of the monetization. Because elves can't be swayed by money. They're more elegant than that. That's my pitch.
So
I'm gonna go and talk to YouTube about that tomorrow.
I think it's a good pitch.
Yeah, thanks.
I do. I think it's a good pitch.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen to Alex Jones?
I think Alex Jones will, sadly, be just fine.
I was going to say. I was going to say this exact same thing. I think Alex Jones will be fine. He still has his website.
Yeah, I mean, there's a niche out there, and like we're talking about him right now.
This is probably going to help his career a lot, as these things tend to do.
Yeah, I think it's like he's going to be in all the news and stuff. I think I mean, how old is the guy? 60, 55? He has to have made money already. I mean, we're hoping for a heart attack, but we'll take a seizure. We'll take.
Goddamn, Lloyd.
I'm sorry, bro. That was hate speech.
That's dark.
That was hate speech. I shouldn't have said that. Well, let's at least hope that he loses. I think he should go into the WWE. I think he should face Ronda Rousey in the WWE, and then at least it'll all be a joke. Because if you watch that and you think it's really, that's what scares me. Is that there are people out there who don't understand how wackadoo that is.
That's a lot of people watch that and don't see it for real. And the guy may believe it. I don't know. Yeah. But a lot of people watch it and believe it. In fact, one of the things that he was criticized for the week before he got booted off these platforms is that he was, and I don't have the footage of it, but he was apparently simulating a gun with his hand.
Yeah.
And either threatening or suggesting he was going to shoot Robert Mueller, the special counsel investigating President Trump. Now, if that's dangerous, if that's not like some kind of hate speech or whatever, or some kind of veiled threat, even, if that's not questionable, I don't know what the fuck is.
Yeah, man. That's dangerous. He should totally get axed for that. And good on YouTube, good on Facebook. I mean, Twitter needs to get in line. I don't know what the fuck Twitter's doing. I don't know why they're so tolerant of... Well, I mean, I guess it's because one of the biggest people that has most of the egregious tweets is the president of the United States. It's so easy to point to, like, well, if he said this, why, like it's such a big thing over there, and it's such a hot topic.
Twitter. Twitter CEO came out and he had a statement, and he basically said, look, we didn't ban Alex Jones because Alex Jones hasn't broken any of our rules.
They have different terms of service then.
Well, I don't know if Alex Jones is putting what content he's putting on Twitter.
Right.
So that, to me, I looked at that and said, oh, that's actually a fairly responsible response.
Yeah.
They're like, maybe Alex Jones isn't uploading videos and these things to Twitter. Maybe he's just tweeting and his tweets aren't really violating any policy.
He's just going on Pinterest and trying to sell just
I don't know
coasters that are flat and shaped like just Earth coasters and a flat Earth thing.
People who want Alex Jones themed wedding.
Oh God!
I mean,
Do you take this man to be your
screaming in people's ears? Sorry about that.
Yeah. Now, look, these platforms at the end of the day, they're private businesses. They can remove. I mean, they can remove anyone for nearly anything that they want, as long as they're not necessarily violating someone's civil rights. Now, they're not the government, so they're not technically like violating Alex Jones' free speech by taking him down.
I mean, that's the deal with that, and we've said this before. You could say anything you want. You just have to deal with the consequences.
Yeah, and these are
private
the consequences.
companies. So
these are the consequences. And part of me is biased on this because I think Alex Jones is a fucking nut job.
Yeah.
Like, I get that people are frustrated and they like hate the government and they think all these conspiracy theories are true. But even if you accept that as a fact, that, the government's out to get us, that can be true. And also Alex Jones can be nuts and full of shit.
Yeah.
Both of those things can work. But people somehow want to conflate those two things. No, the government's bullshit, therefore Alex Jones is right.
Yeah.
No.
There's nothing, There's... All right, we should move on. We've given him too much time. Alex Jones, you have sapped all of our damn time.
Well, all right. So, what's your verdict on him being censored? You're into it?
I agree with it.
Yeah,
I think he's good.
I think
it's a good precedent to be set, and I think it's the start of a different era of responsibility by the people who run this big social media companies.
I totally agree. Don't get on. Look, I guess if you could. Even if you're going to do it on Pornhub, like, don't get on these platforms and threaten to like actually shoot or murder people or you know, whatever YouTube was claiming he was doing, disparaging Muslims and transgender, I guess, in ways that like are not acceptable.
Yeah.
No one's saying don't criticize other people or other groups, but I think the way Alex Jones is doing it is not. Not only is it not a thing that can be monetized, it's not even a thing that anyone wants to represent.
No,
their company.
There's no benefit to having him on that site. There's no plus side at all.
And like I said before, YouTube is so protective of their advertisers, and that he is an example of what someone what someone would show someone if they wanted to make a point about bad things that people are advertising against on YouTube. They're like, look at this shit people are advertising against on YouTube. Look, this Alex Jones video where he's threatening to shoot the special counsel has ads on it.
Yeah.
So I understand why
ads for like baby powder or something because they can't even control it.
Okay, second story. This one's really interesting too.
Moving on.
The Bible says.
Nope.
We can't get away from him.
Wait, no. Oh, there he is again.
Gotta get away from him.
There he is.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Oh my God.
He sounds like a Muppet.
I'm talking about
He is.
I don't want to swim around in your piss. I go to the bathroom.
He's like an angry. He's like a more articulate
and
cookie
excuse
monster.
me talking like that, but that's the fundamentals of what I boil this down to. The Muslims from third world countries, they're used to crapping in a river.
God,
so they get in the German swimming pool and they all start crapping in the pool.
Unbelievable, this guy.
You globalists think you're so advanced.
Okay, we're done with that.
Aye.
Okay, so New York Times is under fire this week because they hired a new technology writer to be on their editorial board, a young woman named Sarah Jeong. Now, Sarah Jeong is getting in. She's under a lot of scrutiny because some of her past tweets it from anywhere from 5 years ago up to maybe 3 years ago. Now, these tweets are questionable at best. These tweets are really trashing white people, which is why this is an interesting case. Because the New York Times acknowledged that these tweets are bad, and they went on and they still hired her. And the argument against these tweets is like, hey, take out the word white and replace it with any other race.
Yeah.
And the New York Times would not have kept her on. So it does bring up an interesting debate. But let's look at some of Sarah Jeong's past tweets. Now, keep in mind, she's not a comedian. I don't know if these were meant to be funny. Usually you can be like, these are meant to be funny. These seem just like statements. But here we go. This is so the New York Times technology writers, old tweets, Asian American woman. Oh, nope, that's Alex Jones again. Sorry, that was Alex Jones again. Okay, there we go. Are white people genetically predisposed to burn faster in the sun, thus logically being only fit to live underground like groveling goblins?
Okay.
All right, let's go to another one. Dumbass fucking white people marking up the internet with their opinions like dog pissing on fire hydrants.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one too. This is a hashtag. Hashtag cancel white people.
That's pretty hard, man.
Now, I only pulled up 3.
Yeah.
But there are tons. I mean, this is a whole page of them, but there are tons. There are like... They
and
go on for days.
It's just what I mean.
By one account, I read there were hundreds.
There's an argument that you can't be racist against white people, and I don't think that's true.
That's a terrible argument.
I don't think that's true at all.
What is that? What is that argument? What is that argument?
Because white people are the race that's in power. It's tough to because you have less ability to wield the power of racism against that person. Then it doesn't count as it's not as effective. So, in other words. If you're a minority race and you hate white people, that hatred can't really result in too much tangible results other than just the emotion of hate. Versus if a white person hates all Asian people, for example, they have much more ability to affect that person's well-being as a whole. I mean, I understand that. I don't think that's true. I think that you can be. I think that like. Puerto Rican people can hate Mexican people and Japanese people can hate Chinese people, and that's all racism. I think that you can be a racist against any other race. So there's just maybe one is potentially more dangerous than another, but the fact is it's still racism. Yeah, man, that's concerning to me. That's concerning to me that a publication as large as the New York Times would hire anybody who had that much just negativity to spread into the world about any one particular generalization of people. Right. There are so many people out there. that why would you do that? That's concerning to me. I think that's a legit. It's not one or two tweets. It's multiple tweets.
By some accounts, hundreds.
Yeah, that's
years worth.
Yeah,
years of.
And has she responded? Has she apologized?
Yeah.
What's
The New York Times responded. So we'll get into all this. The New York Times. Let me pull it up. So the New York Times did have to say something because this was kind of a big deal. So the New York Times responded, and they're referring to to Sarah Jeong. They said her journalism and the fact that she is a young Asian woman have made her a subject of frequent online harassment. For a period of time, she responded to that harassment by imitating the rhetoric of her harassers. She now sees that this approach only served to feed the vitriol that we too often see here on social media. So basically, they're saying she was counter-trolling. She was satirizing what her critics were saying, which I think is a piss-poor argument. She was being racist because she was making fun of the trolls that were being racist to her.
Right, so she was responding to hate with more hate.
Yes. The immediate problem with that argument is this. Like, if you got years worth of hate on Twitter, how do you know all of those people were white?
Well, I mean,
half the people on Twitter are anonymous.
Right, sure. But I could see how you could pick up that vibe.
Sure. But if you get a hateful message and you assume the race of that person when they don't have a profile picture or anything like that and they haven't alleged any kind of race.
Yeah.
And then you hate on an entire race based on that one person's comment.
Right.
That's fucking racist.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that those are racist comments for sure. I feel like, I mean, that at least gives it some context. I don't think it makes it right. I think that if you're a journalist, that's the business. And especially in the years that especially in this day and age, if you're in the world where you're under a microscope and you're going to get that hate. I imagine it's awful. I have no doubt in my mind that woman has received some shitty stuff. And I would venture to say that I could see how you could. There's probably context within the tweets that would make it fairly obvious where it was coming from. I would imagine that you could sort of come to that conclusion. But even still, I think that's questionable at best, because that's going to affect the way she makes decisions for the entire paper. That's going to affect the people that work for her. That's going to affect the readership. That's going to affect the objectivity of things. That's tough. That's a tough. I can't really. I don't think. I'm sure there was multiple candidates for that job, and many of which were probably minority or women or both or whatever. And it's tough for me to understand why they would choose that, unless they didn't know. Maybe that didn't come out until
after. They apparently
after.
said they knew.
They knew in the hiring process.
They apparently said they knew.
That's shitty.
It's super shitty. All right, so for me, this one's very, very easy.
Yeah.
So Sarah Jeong is, she's an educated woman.
Yeah.
She went to Harvard Law. She's not an idiot. Yeah. If you spend years criticizing, even in joking form, like let's say you're making jokes, you're joking, you make a joke about Jewish people or something. Fine, that's fine. But if you spend years making jokes about Jewish people and half of them don't even have punchlines,
and bad taste,
or just about one group in particular, at some point someone's got to stop you and say, "Yo, do you legit have a problem with this group?"
Yeah. Well, it sounds like she does.
She definitely does. And you know what it is? Like, by definition, it's definitely racist. The argument that people make that, racism is prejudice plus power, which is kind of what you were describing.
Right.
That the group that's hating on the other group has to be in power, otherwise it's not racist. I think that's a bullshit argument. It's an attempt to redefine the word racism or racist so that it only applies to white people.
Well, I mean,
because that's the group in power.
Yeah, I don't think that argument is being made simply to let people be racist against white people. I don't think that's
not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they're redefining the word so that the only group that can be accused of racism is is white people. You can't
Right.
accuse you
But
know,
I don't-
Asians of racism. You
Right.
can't accuse Latinos or blacks of racism
saying-
because they're not in power.
You're
that's,
saying-
that's that whole argument.
You're saying that's the result. I don't think people are making that argument specifically to get that result. I think that result is happening, but I don't think there are people back there being like, we're going to figure out a way to make it so that only white people can be racist. I don't think that's why. I think there's a certain amount of people who feel that way. I don't agree with that, but I don't think that there's a underlying motivation to do that.
Then why redefine the term?
I think to give to I don't know why. I don't know why you would.
That's
do that.
I think they're redefining the term so that you can't.
I mean, what?
So that no one can make like a reverse racism argument.
Right. Well, I think that what squashes that whole argument is you take white people out of the equation, and there are black people who are racist against Mexican people. There are Mexican people who are racist against
Yeah.
Indian people. So there definitely is
Prejudice based on race is racism.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
period.
yeah.
I don't know why we would ever want to attempt to redefine that word.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to call it racism, I think that's ridiculous. But fine. But can we at least agree that it's shitty?
Yeah.
Can we agree on that?
It's shitty for sure.
It's so shitty.
And it is racism. I think there's
so
different levels
racism.
of danger, and that's nobody argues that. Nobody is sitting
Yeah.
here being like, well, if this poor guy hates rich white people, then that's just as dangerous if
Right.
rich white people hate all these, brown people
Yes,
or
there's
whatever.
certainly different levels of racism.
Yeah.
Some are worse than others based on our history.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just don't.
Absolutely.
I think that this type of thing just propagates more hate. It just hate is hate, man.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like,
This is as bad. This is worse than Roseanne. I think this is worse than what Roseanne
Yeah.
did because she spent years doing it.
and Roseanne doesn't have that much influence. People know Roseanne is an entertainer. This is the New York Times. What did you say? The digital.
I mean, she wasn't a New York Times journalist then. She was journalist for was it Vulture or Variety? I can't remember. She was journalist for something else. But yeah, no, it was New York Times technology writer. I don't know how she's going to blame white people for technology problems.
Oh, she's just like is she just like an editorial writer? She's not really.
She's an editorial writer that the New York Times hired for their technology portion or whatever.
Right. Well, I mean, that's still terrible. I thought maybe she was like a department head or something like that. So she's just like an editorial writer. I mean, yeah, it sucks.
No, she's not
Still
a department head, but
it still sucks.
It's a thing where look. The internet was outraged about it, so we're talking about it. And it does bring up an interesting topic that the argument that you were suggesting that a lot of people make, which they do, and I saw them on the news. That's how I was alerted to the story. I saw a woman on the news making the argument that you made, in that what this woman is doing isn't racist because she's not white.
That's bullshit.
Which is crazy to me. Like, that's
bullshit.
fucking lunacy, and frankly, that doesn't help anything. It doesn't help anything to suggest that what she's doing isn't what it is.
Yeah. Anything that backs up the idea that hate is good is I don't want anything to do with it.
Hate is bad.
Unless it's like I hate bananas, because I do hate bananas. Because they're a terrible fruit, overrated, gross, mushy, disgusting. I'd rather eat a finger.
We can all agree that, first of all, bananas can suck my ass. But, fingers are not. Look, they get a bad rap.
Hey, man, I had a sweet bunch of fingers the other day.
I'm in love with fingers, to be honest with you. If I could, I'd put a ring on it. No pun intended.
We'll have multiple finger sandwiches. It'll be great.
So many fingers. Okay, I got a great make it or break it for you.
All right, yeah, let's do make it or break it, you guys.
Let's do it, make it or break it.
Make it.
Make it! Or break it! So, make it or break it. Guys, this is a game we play every week, Make It or Break It, where I give a hypothetical scenario of a romantic relationship that you could have, and then you have to decide whether or not you could make this relationship work or break it off. So, you are dating this woman for 2 weeks. Sorry, 2 months.
2 weeks. 2 months?
This partner, you've been dating her for 2 months.
How's the sex?
Amazing.
Great.
She's great. Everything's perfect.
Great.
Here's the thing, though. She is an avid Alex Jones fan. Believes every word that he says.
Come on, man. It's over.
Believes every word that he says.
It's over. But not before we have a couple of good... Not before I have some fun with it, though. Not before I, do maybe a little role play here or there, or, not before we have, a sweet wrestling match, or get into at least an argument in a public place.
Sweetie, I just don't understand why you're ending it.
Look, I mean, it's just, I believe that we actually did land on the moon. I think the world is round. They have pictures. It's fact. It's really a fact.
No, but you have no proof of that.
I do. There's actual proof. There are photos that show the world is round. There are photos of people on the moon, and also you said that bread isn't real, and there's so much bread in the world that.
Well, we can agree to disagree on whether bread is real.
Bread is real. Bread is real.
Bread? No.
Look, we have bread right here in the pantry. What is this? This is bread.
It's no. Okay, so fine. You have your opinion.
It's not an opinion. It's
I have
bread.
Facts.
There's bread.
You're really comparing apples to oranges here.
No, I'm playing apples to bread, and bread is it's right here.
I don't understand why we have to. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, because what you're saying is bread. All I'm hearing is, hey, the government got to me, and now we have to break up. Is that what happened?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that there are things in this world that are actually real that we all agree on, and then there are things that you have in your brain, and those things that you have in your brain don't work with me in my house.
Did the mainstream media tell you this?
Yes, they did.
Okay. I totally agree with you. I would absolutely break that off. In fact, on the first date, if I get any sense, because I have a really big, my bullshit detector is probably too sensitive.
Yeah.
So if I get any sense of bullshit,
yeah,
I just think like I can't make this work.
How about if she believes a third of what he says?
I don't think I mean, it depends on what third, but probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, is it the Sandy Hook third?
No.
The Sandy Hook crisis actor third? Is it the Earth is flat third? Or is it just this general third where like the government's kind of bad out to get us?
Maybe that part. She just thinks that government's out to get us. She thinks that like mailmen are spies.
Well, she's not wrong.
What if mailmen were spies? Dude, that was a creepy time in my life. A mailman one time came up to my door and was like, "Oh, dude, I'm a big fan." I was like, "Oh shit."
No fucking way.
You know where I live.
That same thing happened to me.
Yeah,
with a mailman.
Oh god.
I had a mailman. No, I had a mailman like knock because he had a package to deliver, and I opened the door and he's like, "Oh shit, you're Ray, man. I love your stuff. Let me get a pic." He's like wanting a picture right there.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, let me sign for this goddamn Amazon package.
Right.
So I uncomfortably. Because I'm, when you answer the door, you're in like your sweatpants, in your wife beater, and stuff. And so I uncomfortably like take a picture with him. He's like, "Yo, I'm gonna show all my friends." I'm like, "Oh fuck, he knows where I live. This is creepy." So this was my my old place, and I don't live in like a gated place, but this a particular set of apartments had a gate in front of it.
Oh man!
And if you wanted, and like. Every other mailman would just throw the package over the gate because they don't want to leave it outside the gate because someone will steal it. No, he would like stand outside and just yell my name so that I would come out and get the package. Every other mailman would just throw the package over the gate because they don't want to leave outside the gate. They don't want to get stolen. So they would just kind of toss it over the gate.
Wow.
He would stand outside the gate and be like, "Yo, Ray. Yo, Ray.
Wow.
Ray. Ray." And he would do that, and I would intentionally not go out because I don't, it's like Pavlov's dog. I don't want to reward him for standing outside my door and yelling my name. So another time, the last time he did it before I moved for other reasons, he came up and he was standing there with like another mailman.
Oh no.
And they were both kind of in that age range of like my demographic, which is, males, 26, 27 years old. And they're both standing there. The other mailman I'd never seen. And they're both like, "Yo, Ray. Yo, Ray, come on. Yo, Ray."
This is the look how famous we are portion of the podcast, by the way. Sorry.
Oh my, sorry. I don't mean to brag, but I do mean like I was so put off by that because I get nervous with people who are fanatical, who like know where I live, because they'll show up and do that shit. They'll show up and they'll get a little bit excited. And they'll want to get really involved in your life. Yeah. And, if I'm at home and I'm hanging out in my underwear, that means, guess what? I don't really want to be around anyone necessarily.
There should be and again, it makes me uncomfortable even just to talk about popularity or whatever, but there should be a level of confidentiality with people's addresses and your handling of it if you're like a federal employee. It feels a little odd.
Oh, yeah. Look. Truth be told, I could have easily gotten that guy fired if I had called and made a complaint. I'm not going to do that by any means. But I do remember being creeped out, and like you suddenly feel like you're some kind of prisoner in your own home. You're like, well, I don't want to go outside. Yeah. you know,
Yeah.
to like rake my lawn because there's
Yeah.
2 mailmen standing out there
Yeah.
who are screaming my name.
That's weird. That's why I have dogs. Or I had dogs. I have one dog. But that definitely helps. A fucking big, barking, growling dog. Me holding him back at the door being like, just give me the package, man. Just give me the package. They never really give me any problem after that.
Yeah, Mr. Kitty's not
Oh my
not
God.
going to do that for me. But that's crazy. You had a mailman
Yeah.
fan story
Same
too.
deal.
I did as well.
Same
That was
deal.
one of the creepier things because
Yeah.
fans are amazing.
Yeah.
They don't typically show up at your house.
Yeah, not
and
at
if they
all.
do, it's kind of like, okay, look, man, I got boundaries.
And they don't have the ability to share your house's location with other people. Not cool, mailman. Not cool, mailman.
Well, right, and you you can't lie. You can't lie and be like, this is just my friend's house. I don't actually live here. Like, well,
Right.
your fucking mail's going
Yeah,
here,
right,
buddy.
Well, it's just a conspiracy because the mail doesn't exist anyway. So
Nice. Okay, you had a story this week.
I did. I do have a story. It's actually kind of a positive story with a negative butthole. What did I do? Did I knock it? So LeBron James, this week, I believe, or early or late last week, opened or made an announcement that he was opening a school in his hometown called the I Promise School, which is pretty freaking cool, man. The school is tuition is free, the food is free, snacks are free. Food and snacks, both food and snacks. Everybody gets a bike. LeBron James, when he was growing up in Akron, Ohio, said that a big part of the reason why he was successful is because he had a bike and he could get to practice and school on his own, and it helped him just kind of stay out of trouble. So if you get to the school, you get a bike, and then
Damn, what kind of bike did he have?
I don't know, just like a BMX.
I
maybe.
just had
don't
a
know.
Huffy, man.
I know, totally. And then there's also, I believe, if it's not free, it's like a large part of your state tuition for college is paid for if you graduate as well. It's this amazing idea that is sort of coming on the back of the whole Bernie thing about everybody should have access to education. So there's that.
Okay.
And then he did an interview with Lemon. What's that guy's name?
Don Lemon.
Don Lemon.
Yeah.
And our president, he did an interview about the school, man. This positive thing. And then the president decides to tweet that LeBron James did an interview with the dumbest. No, LeBron James got interviewed by the
president's
dumbest.
tweeting. You got to read it in his voice.
LeBron James was interviewed by the dumbest man on the planet. And then he's made some bullshit thing about his school and said, "I like Mike."
Hashtag no collusion.
Yeah, hashtag Trump University. And so now there's this whole Trump University versus LeBron, the I Promise School meme going around. So it's just like, basically, it's like the president was saying that his school, Trump University, which has multiple lawsuits against it for being just a bullshit school, is the same thing as this I Promise School. And so people are coming out in droves to support LeBron James, including Michael Jordan, who's like, don't keep my name out of your mouth, man. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Like, what an awful thing to say.
Including the president's wife,
Yeah.
who came out to support
Yeah.
LeBron's school.
I just don't know how you can make a bad thing out of a good thing like that. Like, every time you try to, like, just forget what's going on in the news and, like, try to live your life, there's just some bullshit going on. It's like he does it on purpose.
It's what you're saying is breaking news. The president tweeted something shitty
Yeah, exactly.
at someone for reasons that we don't quite understand.
I guess more what I was trying to do is at least just give props to LeBron James for opening a school. Like, Jesus.
That's
Like,
a
hope that
great
guy-
thing, man.
I hope he has a small dick, because it's like, if you have, like, if it's not, that just wouldn't be fair. You know what I mean? Like, he has all that talent, and that guy, it's just like, come on, man.
Well, you hope LeBron James has a small
yeah,
dick.
like, he's got to have something wrong. Or maybe, like, he's got only, like, one lung or something like
it
that.
doesn't have to be small. It just can't be bigger than mine.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way life
I mean,
works out.
if his junk was the same size as mine and he's like 6'7", it would look tiny anyway. You know?
Right. It's proportions.
Oh, while we're talking about our junk.
That's
Here.
why I only date women with tiny hands.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, but props to
That's
LeBron
terrible.
James, man. What a cool thing to do.
That's a great thing to do.
He's so.
Why is the president being a dick to
I
him?
don't know.
Oh my God.
Maybe LeBron has guilt about coming to the Lakers, so he's leaving.
Is LeBron James in the Lakers? I don't follow.
Yeah, LeBron James
Sportsketball.
is coming to the sportsketball. LeBron James has left the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Okay.
And is moving. He's taking his talents west to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, cool, I guess.
Unless you're a Clippers fan like me. In that case,
Okay.
it's not that great. I did watch LeBron James play basketball, though, and they lost the game. But it was like watching a man among boys. It was really something to see. It looked like, I mean, they play so many games. Like sometimes you show up to work and sometimes you just got to save your energy for the finals.
Yeah.
And he looked like at any point in time, he could have just won that game single-handedly.
Wow.
He was playing the Clippers, and the Clippers weren't that great. Maybe if it was like the Golden State Warriors or some other really great team, it's not like that. But with probably like 65% of all the teams out there in a game like basketball, that's so one player specific. Like you can be a great player on a basketball team and make such a major difference to any team versus like football or baseball, where it really takes a big team. It's like it was just amazing to watch. So props to you, King James.
Yeah, my brother took me to a Clippers game one time, and I watched. I remember Blake Griffin playing, and it was the same thing. Like basketball is one of those games where like one guy can really, really dominate.
Yeah,
and he was certainly dominating.
I love Blake Griffin.
Yeah, he's
the best.
Yeah, I mean, I like him because he's big. He appreciates comedy.
Oh, he comes to the comedy club.
Oh, does he?
We have a bunch of pictures of Blake Griffin at the comedy club.
Does he go up?
Yeah, we did a Clippers benefit at I own a comedy club in Santa Monica called Westside Comedy, westsidecomedy.com. Check it out. But the Clippers came to the theater and like they went on stage a little bit and they just had an event there and it was really fun. They kind of surprised some of the employees of the Clippers at the club. It was really, really fun.
And I'm just curious what a you can't give me an example. I mean, I don't necessarily want you to give his jokes away, but like an example of a Blake Griffin joke. Like, what it would be like, hey, did you hear the what? Because you know how basketball players kind of have that
giant
cadence.
Yeah.
Hey, that cadence of Jack and the Beanstalk Giant.
Yeah.
Hey, did you hear the one about the opposing team? They're terrible, am I right? And he's just killing it because he's Blake Griffin, and everyone's just glad he's there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he does just horrible puns. You know what I mean? Like, what's Blake Griffin's favorite brand of coffee? Dunkin' Donuts. Come on. Hey, still got it.
I am murdering, right?
People are like, yeah, man.
You're killing it. You are killing it.
So
Coach said there's no I in team and just get on stage. So I just get on stage.
Right? Yeah. Minute Bull. Unless you're Spud Webb. Spud Webb was like a 5'5" basketball player back in the day, and he won the slam dunk contest. And for every shorty out there, he's
the hero.
Oh my God, he was the best. He could fly.
It's like him and Tom Cruise and Robin Williams and Kevin Hart.
Yeah,
it's like they need the short guy awards.
Yeah, that'd be great. Under 5'6" only.
Which, by the way, totally different topic. And I know we got to crown a king, but the Oscars announced today that they're changing it up. So in the coming years, they're going to have other awards like Best Actor in a Popular Movie
versus just Best Actor overall. So like a Marvel movie.
Yeah, which is odd. And I mean, it's like so now it's like the Oscars plus the MTV Movie Awards.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Oscar viewership is just going down.
Of course it is. They're giving awards, not saying these movies aren't great and they don't deserve awards, but they're giving awards to movies that your general public doesn't watch. So why do we want to watch them win awards?
Yeah.
Did you see Spotlight?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I see them all. But I'm a movie guy. I don't watch anything except movies.
Okay.
But it is, as a guy who owns a theater and a business that has shows, award shows are just moneymakers.
Yeah.
It's just a reason to get people to the theater and to watch. And these movies are amazing, but on some level, you're sort of patting yourselves on the back. And you have the Oscars and then the Golden Globes and then the Emmys and all of these things. And it's a racket. There's awards season here, and they have relationships with all these brands and things. And people are just watching, like even the Streamies or like any of the digital awards. Same thing. You're celebrating each other, but you're also making money a lot. So
maybe they just do need to step up their money, but it will be interesting to see from here on out because it's a little condescending. We have the best actor and then like the best actor in a popular movie.
Oh, I know. You don't want to win that award.
Well, it's like if someone said, "Hey, you're a rapper," you'd be like, "Cool." But if they were like, "No, he's a pop rapper,"
yeah, awful.
That's right.
I think they should have the worst actor award.
Do you do music or do you do pop music?
Oh no, I know.
So shitty.
Oh, you should do your little skits. You know your little skits.
Your little skit, it's like your grandmother condescending. Good, just go play with your friends and with your camera.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Anyway.
All right.
The kings of influence have delivered evidence.
There we go.
Hey.
It's time to crown a king.
We got a king.
All right, let's review. Who do we got? We have Alex Jones.
Yes.
We have Sarah Jeong in the New York Times.
Yes.
We have LeBron James and the president.
Yep.
I think the crown will obviously go to LeBron.
Yeah, easily.
LeBron James is the king of influence for starting the I Promise School. Is that what it's called? I Promise?
I Promise schools, yeah.
Shout out to LeBron James.
Yeah, big shout out to him. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check out the school and give it as much, with so much bad press all the time, give that shit as much shine as you can.
Some of y'all need to take some classes.
Yeah,
in
for
that school.
real.
Some arithmetic.
And then the shitty court jester, I think it's got to go to Miss Jeong, man. I think
Yeah?
for me, I do. Alex Jones, I know him. I expect him to be terrible.
That's fair.
I
Alex Jones is being Alex Jones. Trump is being Trump.
yeah. This is a new flick of poop on the windshield, and I'm not excited about it.
I'll give you that. So I wouldn't give it to Sarah because she actually kept her job. I'd give it to Alex Jones because he is the one who lost the most this week. He got
Yeah.
so much taken away from him.
Yeah.
So Alex Jones, that is a big fuck you to him.
Yeah. Eat a big fake dick.
Eat
Alex.
a massive Sandy Hook dick, you bastard. Okay, guys, that is our time. It's super hot in here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna jump off here and turn on the air conditioner.
Thanks for
if
listening.
you are in the live stream chat right now watching, we as soon as we sign off, we will we'll do a little meet and greet and talk to you guys. We are responding to the stream on the funny page. That is facebook.com/yourpageisfunny. That is the stream we are looking at. So,
Yeah.
that is our time.
That's our time, you guys. We're Kings of Influence. We're here every Wednesday at noon. You can find us on Facebook. The Kings of Influence Facebook page is live and well. Go over there and like it and follow it. And then you can find the podcast on iTunes.
And SoundCloud.
And SoundCloud.
And some other places soon.
Yeah, and follow along and check us out. Thanks, guys.
Love ya.